Well, hey gang, it's John with Roads and Relics. Alrighty guys, we're scoping out the Dahlgren Heritage Museum to find out who this Dahlgren guy is. It's located right here at the foot of the 301 bridge across the Potomac River there. And right adjacent to the naval station in this little area called Matthias. This little point of land right here is called Matthias. It's interesting, when you look at the river, you can see a very distinctive curve there. Matthias Point is defined by the hook you see in the river. Right there, the real sharp hook. The little point right there. So that's where we're going to go, and we're going to check out this guy and find out who he is. It's a very, very good article. It's a lot of biographical information. It's the stuff that we're going to see when we go to the museum. So I'm not going to read it here, but I did want to point out one little interesting tidbit. During the Civil War, his guns were mounted on all the Union ships, and I guess some of the Confederate vessels as well. USS Monitor, USS Kearsarge, etc. Not one of them, not one of his 9 or 11-inch guns, the principal heavy calibers of the time, none of them failed prematurely in combat. That's amazing, given the tools and the technology, the material and stuff that they had to work with at the time. Wow, that's just incredible. USS Kearsarge. I found on Wiki, I found this guy here. It's a photograph, a Polaroid picture from the 1800s of the USS Kearsarge. This is one of Dahlgren's guns here. Look at that. That is absolutely amazing. Here's the map. So we're not too far away, about 25 minutes. Come out of home base here, go right up 205, and we're going to take a turn on 218. Now, 218, oops, let me switch back there, hang on, let me zoom in on that real quick and see, get a little sneak peek. There you go. Not bad for a road that has lines on it. Yeah, you know me. If I had my druthers, we would go down a back road somewhere. But 218 is not bad, and it's going to be a quiet day. So we'll follow that one all the way out. Let me zoom out here for you. Follow that one all the way through the countryside here until it rejoins with 301, and then we'll just follow 301 all the way up to the museum here. And then I thought maybe when we were all done looking at checking that out real good, we could go right next door to the Dahlgren Wayside, a little park here. Let me shift my view a little bit. Yeah, so we'd be here, come out, get in the van, come right over here, and get a peek of that beautiful beach and a vantage point of the Potomac River. Look at that. And the bridge that goes across there. I bet you that would be very, very beautiful. Okay. That's the Dahlgren Heritage Museum. Alright guys, go get the I'm gonna go get the van all packed up and ready to go, and I'll meet you back here in just a minute. Alrighty gang, we're rolling out of Columbia Beach. Got all packed up, got some fuel, got my cup of coffee, and we're on our way down to see the Dahlgren Heritage Museum. It's a beautiful day. Perfect day for a little road trip. And 205 out of Colonial Beach, like we looked at on the map. And not too far up the road, we'll connect to 218. Shouldn't be too much longer. Over Tides Mill Stream, little bridge here by Wilkerson's. I don't think we could have asked for a better day, guys. It's a little crisp. The temperature right now is 44 degrees. Nice blue skies, plenty of sunshine. This little stretch right through here makes for some very, very beautiful countryside. And here is our turn for 218, and here's the county line. We're in King George County. Busy little road. Oh, I forgot to mention, the name of this road is Teetotum. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool name. Kind of makes you wonder what it might mean. I have to look that one up, I think. Okay, guys. We are on our way. That's the entrance to Stony Point Road. Remember when we did the fall Color Quest video? That's that road that we went down. Wow, look at that red tree. Alrighty, going down the hill here to this little sharp turn. Now the name of the road changes to Windsor Drive. So that part back there was called Teetotum, and this part is called Windsor Drive. Okay guys, getting ready to cross over the Macado Creek. There's a little bridge right here. There's the Macado Creek. The sun is behind us and to our right. So it's lighting up those trees on the left over there, really nice. And we're going past the farm. Buena Vista Farm, 1866. Very, very cool. Okay guys, we are on 301 North, coming into Dahlgren, Virginia. Coming into the little area where the Walmart little shopping center is. There's a Chick-fil-A over here on the right. There's a car dealership. There's a Five Guys restaurant, a GameStop. They got all kinds of little retail stores in this little part right here. Sharp eye here because there's a little crossover to get to it, and if you miss it you have to go across the bridge, and I don't want to do that. Keep a real close eye. Now that's the one for the park, so it should be the very next one. Okay, it looks like it's this one right here. Very good. Guys, this is the Dahlgren Heritage Museum. There's a little parking spot over here by the tree. There we go. Oh, what's this? Oh, hey guys, there's a history marker here. Let's check it out. Get out of the sun here. Alright, it says history marker EP6, Civil War action at Matthias Point. Remember that Matthias Point on the map we looked at? In May 1861, Confederate forces commanded by Brigadier General Daniel Ruggles and Major Robert Mayo began constructing gun emplacements at Matthias Point, which is located 2.5 miles northwest on the Potomac River close to the Virginia shore. This battery, as well as others, interfered with Union forces shipping troops and supplies to Washington, D.C. On 27 June 1861, the gunboat USS Thomas Freeborn, commanded by Commander James H. Ward, shelled the batteries held by the Confederate forces while sighting the bow gun. Ward was mortally wounded, the first U.S. Navy officer killed in action in the Civil War.
That's a pretty cool history marker. Wow. Alright guys, you ready to go in? The Dahlgren Heritage Museum, preserving naval history. Cool? Alright, here we go. We got the flags on the pole. Alright, here we go. Alright guys, there's no fee to get in the museum. Okay. Here we go. This was what we were looking at online. Dahlgren is the father of modern naval ordnance. That picture looks like the one we saw of the USS Kearsarge. Similar. Oh, that's a cool picture. Check out that shell. This one is the 7-inch projectile. Dahlgren through the decades. Talking about the naval base here. So much history. Oh, look at that big propeller. A painting of one of the big guns. Yeah. See what this is all about. Oh, it's a replica. It's a replica propeller. Yeah, cool. Way back when. First for Dahlgren and the United States, 1924. Yeah. They got an airplane. Very cool. I think those old photographs. What's that thing? Okay. That one is called the Norden bomb sight. It was tested at Dahlgren in 1932 to 1945. Look at that instrument. That's amazing. Got some photographs here. A plane there. That's a Corsair. Model. Cool stuff. So you were saying about the bomb site?
The bomb site was, like I said, it was under contract originally with the Navy, and then the Army also got involved with the contract. The Navy was going to use it for high-level bombing, and they decided to shift more exclusively to dive bombing using aircraft called the aircraft carriers. The Army Air Corps, which was a branch of the Army, was also continuing with the high-level bombing, and they found that the Norden bomb site was going to meet their needs for long-range, high-level, high-altitude bombing. So they ended up going with the contract and installing it in the B-17, B-24, and B-25 aircraft.
What year was that about?
That was been around 1940.
Wow,
So this was in preparation for war. It wasn't like this was just developed right at the beginning of the war. It was right before the war. They were already looking at incorporating something. There was a need for this. There's another bomb site, a company called Sperry, that built an alternate model, which was not built in as many versions as the Norden. It was not tested here either, but it was in competition with Norden.
Yeah.
Norden won out though. He had better PR.
Yeah. You were saying that of all the devices that were built, they were all tested right here at Dahlgren Naval Station?
Over 90,000 of them were tested certified here at Dahlgren.
Okay. So they must have had like some type of an instruments division or something where they could...
Oh yeah, still have a lot of certification that goes on here. Not necessarily like that. That is an example of an analog computer that has pulleys and gears and knobs, not bells. You might want to call it bells and whistles, but that is a two-piece analog computer that went on aircraft. Works real good at level altitude, at level flying at 15,000 feet. But when you start shooting at it, making the air bounce, bounce around, and it's having to alter course to avoid being shot at, not quite as effective as you would like it to be, but it works. It's a very complex machine.
You said it's essentially an analog computer.
Yep, it is an analog computer. Top part is the actual sight itself. That's where the bombardier would sight through the glass eyepiece, and then you would make adjustments for altitude, speed, wind, drift, and type of ordnance that was being dropped. How it affects missile launches, because this is the gravitational field, because the Earth is not shaped evenly.
No.
And these are the difference in the gravitational fields, and they have an impact on the flight of ICBMs. It's not a flat sphere. Parts of it are deeper, higher than others based on gravity. And this is what this represents, is where the higher gravitational fields are.
And Miss West here?
Yeah, that's Miss West right there, and that's her husband there.
And they had something to do with the GPS?
Yep.
Wow.
Yes, she did.
So they did
right here. Work on the CSAT, which contributed to the modern global positioning system, the GPS system.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mathematics. And see, she started out working here just as a mathematician, but her big work was involved with the ICBMs, the targeting system, and providing it inputs so that you could target accurately with the ICBMs that were launched from submarines.
All right, here's the portrait of John Adolphus Bernard Dahlgren. Pretty cool. This is the 11-inch Dahlgren shell gun, muzzle-loading naval artillery, known as the Dahlgren gun, designed by Rear Admiral John Dahlgren. It's a newsletter. It's a newsletter from the base called On the Surface, dated 23rd of January 1981. talking about the father of modern naval ordnance. Look at these old photographs. Oh, those are pretty cool. I got some more displays down here. Slide rollers. Given the type of work they did over here, I bet you that slide rule was worn out. Oh, that's interesting. This is called the Kaufler and Esser Thatcher Cylindrical Slide Rule. Wow. So guys, looks like we got a collection of patches. That's kind of cool. Little memorabilia items. Something from the USS Iowa. There we go. This compass right here. Look what that says. Circa 1860 to 1870 compass, typical of the Civil War era. Wow. That's neat. In 1943, Dahlgren Ordnance expertise is tapped for the secret Manhattan Project. Wow. The Aiken Relay Calculator. That's pretty cool. Some more about the Dahlgren base here. They're in the 50s. Now look at the size of that shell. There it goes. This is the USS Iowa projectile. Says, oh no, 47 sailors died on the Iowa, and this is from 1989, from an open breech explosion. Wow. Look at the damage on that shell there. Alright guys, this is pretty cool. This is a projectile that they use in the rail gun that they're developing here at Dahlgren. Let's see what it says. The electromagnetic rail gun launcher is a long-range weapon that fires projectiles using electricity instead of chemical propellants. Wow. And some more of the history through the decades here. There's the 70s. There's the 1980s. 1990s. Like they worked on the Tomahawk cruise missile. And 2000s. Alrighty guys, that was the museum. Now, it looks like there's an information board over here. Let's go check that out, see what that's about. Oh, this is cool. Okay, it says, it's really hard to see. It's the Potomac Waterman Life from the River. And it says the Potomac River and its tributaries are at the heart of the Potomac community. The Potomac and its bounty have supported the people named after the river for thousands of years. Very cool. Very cool. Guys, here's the bridge. We're at the Wayside Park here. Alright, let's go walk down to the water. Check out the beach down there. Wayside Park. It says this parkland was acquired through the Federal Lands to Park program of the National Park Service, Department of the Interior. A nice little park area here. Got some picnic tables under the tree there. That's nice. Got some more picnic tables down there on the beach. Nice little spot to have a lunch. What an amazing view, guys. Wow. Very pretty. We're looking out that way down the river. We're looking up toward Matthias Point. A little jut of land that sticks out there. Well, guys, we got to see Route 218. That was a nice little drive along Route 218. Come down here to the Dahlgren Heritage Museum. And talked to a really nice gentleman there named Harry Black. He's very knowledgeable. Now we're down here, after we checked out the museum, now we're down here at the Wayside Park, checking out the view. Isn't that amazing? What an awesome, awesome day.